Welcome to Oryx Learning. Today's lesson is on Unit 6, Triangles and Pythagorean Theorem. Lesson 6, Applications of the Pythagorean Theorem. Joshua's front door is 42 inches wide and 84 inches tall. He is at the market and wants to purchase a circular table that is 96 inches in diameter. He is concerned the table might not fit through his front door. Should he buy the table? If you'd like to find out the answer to this question, please follow along and we'll revisit it at the end. Let's recall the Pythagorean Theorem. The Pythagorean Theorem states the relationship between the sides of a right triangle. It is expressed in the formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a and b are the lengths of the legs of the triangle and c is the length of the hypotenuse. This theorem can be used to solve many real-world problems, as we'll see in the next couple slides. If a right triangle has legs that measure 5 units and 12 units, what is the length of the hypotenuse? The lengths of the legs can be substituted into the Pythagorean theorem for a and b. Remember that our Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Substituting in a 5 and a 12 for a and b, we get the formula 5 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. 5 squared is 25 and 12 squared is 144. So now we have 25 plus 144 equals c squared. Combining like terms, we get c squared equals 169. Take the square root of both sides of the equation to get c equals the square root of 169, or 13 units. Find the length of the missing side. Round the answer to the nearest tenth. As we can see in the diagram, the hypotenuse of the triangle is 15 units and a leg is 9 units. Substitute those values in for c and a in the Pythagorean theorem. Our Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Substituting in the values, we get 9 squared plus b squared equals 15 squared. Simplifying, we get 81 plus b squared equals 225. Subtract 81 from both sides of the equation, and we get b squared equals 144. Take the square root of both sides of the equation, and we get b equals 12 units. The fire escape ladder from one balcony to the next is 5 meters long. The bottom of the ladder is 2.7 meters to the right of the top of the ladder. What is the vertical distance between the balconies? Round your answer to the nearest tenth. The length of the ladder is the hypotenuse, so 5 is substituted in for c in the Pythagorean theorem. 2.7 is one of the legs. So using the formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and substituting in the values that we know, we get the formula 2.7 squared plus b squared equals 5 squared. Simplifying, we'll get 7.29 plus b squared equals 25. Subtract 7.29 from both sides of the equation to get b squared equals 25 minus 7.29, or 17.71. Take the square root of both sides of the equation to get b equals the square root of 17.71, or approximately 4.2 meters. An ice cream cone is wrapped in paper. How wide does the paper have to be? Round the answer to the nearest tenth. The width of the wrapper would be the hypotenuse of the right triangle. So we use the Pythagorean theorem with 2 and 10 substituted in for a and b, and then we solve for c. So remember the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Substituting the values that we know, we get 2 squared plus 10 squared equals c squared. Simplifying, 2 squared plus 10 squared is 104, so c squared equals 104. Take the square root of both sides of the equation, and we get c equals the square root of 104, or approximately 10.2 centimeters. Now back to the original problem. Since Joshua's front door is 42 inches wide and 84 inches tall, and the table is 96 inches in diameter, the table will have to go in the door diagonally. A diagram can be drawn to model this problem. Since this is a right triangle, the Pythagorean theorem can be used to find the diagonal opening of the door. So we can see in our triangle, the width of the door is 42 inches, the height of the door is 84 inches, and the diameter of the table would have to fit in the diameter or the diagonal of the door. Substituting the values into our Pythagorean theorem, we get 42 squared plus 84 squared equals c squared. And simplifying it, we get c squared equals 8,820. Taking the square root of both sides of the equation, we'll get c equals 93.9149. The diagonal measurement of the door is about 94 inches. Thus, the table will not fit through the door, as the table has a diameter of 96 inches. That is our lesson for today. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed it.